There you go, that was the Triple Thrash treat, and we continue now with an in-depth look at New York hardcore heroes Sick of It All, who've just completed a string of successful European dates in support of their second album, Just Look Around. We caught up with Sick of It All at their only London show a couple of weeks back to find out why the stage is a perfect platform for their important and positive message.
You came in for fun, right? You want to get your money's worth? Come up here where the action's at.
Coming from New York has a lot to do with our sound and our lyrics. I mean, some people, a lot of bands now, not a lot, a couple of bands coming out of New York now are talking about like, well, all of New York is not hard and scary and all that. Yeah, that's true. But we just write about things that we know. And it's not like we have I don't live in a bad neighborhood at all. My neighborhood's a very nice neighborhood. But when I go to work or when I just travel around New York, you can see there's things that are going on that should be corrected and aren't being corrected. It's not just New York though.
The rule, the lie, that you and I do truly win. But, it doesn't make them have no right. We, but, injustice system have no right. Injustice system have all those lies.
One of the reasons we tour with a lot of metal bands is because the industry doesn't know where to put hardcore bands. We're too hard for alternative acts, and sometimes we're not heavy enough for metal bands. But we did tour with Sepultura and Napalm Death, which is a pretty heavy tour, and we did very well on it. It's also because a lot of the metal kids are more into the aggression in our music.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to have like a crossover between hardcore and metal because both kinds of music put a lot of power and aggression into the sound. So it's easy to blend the two, and for us to go on a metal bill, all it does really is diversify the bill.
People gotta fuck with you anyway. They don't let you alone. Give you back, no other hand. Their lives are so great. I love the light, everywhere now you're at hand. There's always someone watching every move you make. Living in this world, devil fool. I just try to do myself. People always knowing their opinion in you. Make it hard to see things clear. Just remember, not the end. My sin is up to you. I love the light.
What we do is we take from other forms of music like everybody else, but we don't say, all right, let's do a funk song and right away, all right, put a slap bass on it, and a jangly guitar and all that crap. No, we play it in our sound and our style. So I see no limit for it. I mean, we've done it to other people who don't really know hardcore. They're gonna listen to it, go, oh, it's just hardcore, But to our fans, every time we come out, they're like, oh, this sounds like a rap song. This sounds like this. Well, that's where we got the idea from.
One of the things we've noticed in the States is sometimes kids will show up to the shows with swastika tattoos, SS tattoos, but at the same time they'll be in the front of the crowd screaming along with every single anti-racist lyric that we're singing. Yeah. So I think that as long as we have the message in there, maybe these kids will see that blind hatred isn't the answer, that they should really change their ways and maybe become a little more moderate in their views, because that's what I can see us doing, is like changing people with some of our lyrics. Hopefully all you out for is not to be fueled by blind anger. Your anger always has to be focused. It always has to be, like the way we write lyrics about injustice that we see. We write lyrics of indignation, we're angry at injustices that happen in the world. We're angry at racism, sexism, any kind of discrimination that we see. We have our focus, if you're just going to write lyrics which are angry without any kind of focus, there's really no point. All you can hope to do with that is just make more people blindly angry.
The more you put out negative images, that's all the kids are going to give back to you is negative images.
Lost the world to love. Lost of everything I know. Say goodbye someday. Goodbye said in eternal way. True present, just a mile away. It's a waste, such a waste. What a waste, you know. Can't believe it's over that.
On the first album, we were a really kind of provincial band still. That was before we had even toured the U.S. at all. So we were just basically writing about the New York scene and the New York scene's problems and things that were happening in New York. You know what I mean? And then once we toured the country, toured Europe, did things like that, of course we have a much greater concept of what the world is all about. And we chose to make we couldn't help but have the lyrics become a little bit more worldly, yeah. As long as we keep the violence away from hardcore, and as long as we keep like that jock mentality, like the gang mentality, the Nazi mentality, keep all of that away from hardcore, basically I see what we can have is a really popular scene that could really grow into, I hate to say it, but mainstream.
And if you'd like to know more about Sick of It All, then you have two options open to you. You can either check them out as our Band of the Week on page 280 of MTV Text, or alternatively you can write to them at the following address: Sick of It All, care of Roadrunner Records, 15 Great Western Road, London W9 3NW. That's Sick of It All, care of Roadrunner Records, 15 Great Western Road, London W9 3NW.